Yo, it's your boy Edward V, and today we're going to go ahead and talk about something really important in boxing. It's argued that we don't get the best fights anymore, and that all this is because fighters only care about money, and that love of money is ruining the sport. And because of that love of money, fighters are scared to lose. And because they're scared to lose, they go ahead and cherry pick. But are they really to blame? Maybe us as fans actually need to look into the mirror when it comes to putting the blame on why these fighters cherry pick. Let's get into it. Okay, so a lot of people come up to me and they talk about boxing. Let's talk about boxing. And one thing that they tell me is, I can't stand boxing, man. I can't stand it, man. I just want to, you know what I'm saying? Just, okay. Did you come here to tell me anything? And I guess the reason they're so mad is because they can't understand why we love boxing so much when they can just only watch it every now and then, because there's so many negatives to boxing. And one of the biggest negatives that I always hear is, all these damn boxers cherry pick, man. All of them, every single one of them. Him, especially that guy. No fight makes sense. Nothing. When they gonna fight somebody that matters, huh? And to that I say this. Maybe it's your fault. Hold up, say what? You heard me. Maybe it's your fault. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's us as fans. Maybe we have a lot of blaming to do on ourselves. And I know you guys are confused about where I'm getting at. But let's look at this logically. A prize fighter has to fight for money, and they're going to optimize their route to getting the most amount of money. And because you're not willing to back a fighter unless the stars align, i.e. Oscar de la Hoya, good looking guy, Mexican American, who won the gold medal and has a very frenetic boxing style. And by frenetic, I mean, of course, very fast paced and very entertaining. And that kind of stardom when it comes to boxing is almost once in a lifetime. Or you can look at the different opposite end of the spectrum and look at Mayweather. Mayweather was the guy who changed the mold in terms of not being a knockout fighter, but gaining your interest. Be it where he crafted the "you really hate me, so buy to watch me lose" skill. If you lose your O, you're no longer top tier. Now this is sad because this is the only sport where they demand that you not lose. I mean, no other sport does that. Granted, it'll be pretty impossible for sports that do 87 games and hundreds and something games to not lose not one game. When a team loses a game or two or three or four or five or six or seven, you still think that they're the best. But when a boxer finally loses his O, all of a sudden he's damaged goods. So get in the mind of a fighter for a second. You're putting that pressure on this fighter. And I'm not saying that you're putting that pressure by yelling it at the screen or telling that to their face when you see them. You put that pressure in the numbers. When they lose that O, their stock automatically drops. You no longer care to watch their fights anymore because they're not intriguing, because they're already lost. You're not really connected to his journey anymore because you really just wanted to see how long he was going to be undefeated. So now you have the fighters that are undefeated with that mentality. Factoring in that whole thing, you're still willing to watch them fight the non-ranked opponent. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the sport. I love the sport so much, I'll still watch those fights where it's considered cherry picking. But this is the thing, I'm not going to complain about it because I know why they're doing it. But if you are one of those people that are complaining about it, then what you need to do is you need to put your protest as a vote, and you need to not watch the fight, not increase the ratings, and not pay for the pay-per-views. So your rebuttal might be, hey, but I love boxing. That doesn't mean that I can't voice my opinion to make boxing better. That's true, but boxing is a business as well as a sport. And if there's an optimization for them to make money while lowering the risk, guess what they're gonna do? So I'm not here to say stop telling them to stop cherry picking. I'm just here to tell you, stop giving so much importance to that O. The moment you start giving less importance to that O, that's when the paradigm can shift. Now, this is definitely not an easy task, as we all have to come together to make that decision. But I can just tell you right now, the sport of boxing has suffered because of this cherry picking accusation. And granted, there is some good evidence to say that this accusation is true. But I can prove to you that the United States just takes that O way too seriously. You know why boxing is on the rise in the UK? Because the fighters aren't scared to lose. You want to know why the fighters aren't scared to lose in the UK? Because the UK fans appreciate the fighter regardless if they lose. How do I know this? Just look at the evidence. 1, the lack of fear when it comes to UK fighters fighting the best. David Haye going up to fight Vladimir Klitschko. Anthony Joshua lobbying for Vladimir Klitschko. Kell Brook going up 2 weight classes to fight Gennady Golovkin. Ricky Hatton going in fighting Mayweather. And 2, what happens after they lose? That was after he got knocked out by Mayweather. So listen to what I'm saying, guys, and just understand that when we start actually caring about the fighters, even after that O is gone, and I mean really caring about them, I don't mean saying, hey, it doesn't matter if you're undefeated, but letting your subconscious mind eat you alive so that you can't watch any more of his fights because all you cared about is how long he was going to stay undefeated for. I'm talking about truly caring about these fighters, that even though they lose, they're still skillful. And even if they lose, they're still great. Until we can do that, and by doing that, it's not talking, it's showing numbers. Manny Pacquiao needs to be able to get knocked out by Marquez and still be able to continue to fight, because he's still one of the best fighters in the world. But his pay-per-views have been dropping ever since. Why? Because he lost. Now, don't give me the fact that the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight did 4 million pay-per-view buys, so it doesn't prove anything. That was its own machine. That thing had its own separate box. That was like a Mayweather De La Hoya or a Tyson Holyfield. Those things automatically have a platform no matter what happens because of the intrigue that we've had for that fight for so long. So please, when these fighters lose, when these United States fighters lose, let's do what the UK fans do, and let's just keep supporting them.